Welcome back to Manufacturing Matters Jackson, the first and only podcast dedicated to celebrating and supporting the manufacturing industry of Jackson County, Michigan. My name is Keith Gillenwater, and I am the president and CEO of Accelerate Jackson County.
And I'm Olivia Steele, Executive Director of Jackson Area Manufacturers Association.
So I think, Olivia, that this is episode number 6 of our podcast. So I don't know what I was thinking about when we were preparing for this, because I would have swore we were still on episode number 5. And thankfully you were there to pick me up before we got on this and help me avoid making some grave mistakes.
Yeah, 6. We're halfway through the year. I'm excited, and I hope we continue to do this year after year. I think it's been great.
Oh, I love it. It is something I look forward to every month, of sitting down, and obviously we have gotten some great guests over the 6 months here, right? It's a different forum from what we normally would do. It's one thing sitting in somebody's office, it's walking around the factory floor and having those conversations. It's another thing sitting here and just kind of having a candid conversation, and I think that's been really good for me as a new economic development guy in Michigan as well. Yeah. So
I'm excited. So excited. I told you before the show, I'm working on having that store set up so we can get some Manufacturing Matters shirts.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I can't wait. So as soon as you get it set up, I will probably maybe I won't make the first purchase. I'm guessing that once you set it up, you're going to probably beat me to the punch.
Well, I mean, we have to order, and then we'll close out the store in 2 weeks or something. And
gotcha.
Yeah, so we'll make sure we share that out.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what's happening at Accelerate Jackson?
Oh man, it is a busy time. We have been like one thing right after another. Like normally you get really busy for a month, and then you get a couple of week lull where you can sort of catch up on things and that kind of thing. And we haven't had that lull this year. And, I think I've talked about this in some of our other episodes that we recorded. And so going from, having this foreign direct investment study and our target industry study and wrapping that up, while we were wrapping that up and preparing for our last site visit with our consultants, we got a large project that wanted to come in and was looking at a 150-acre site that we have in the county that would be a large-scale investment. And so all of the things, like we're going through essentially all of those things that you would do to bring a new industrial site online, because it was a site that wasn't quite there yet. And so we're doing all of that kind of thing. And then there was some travel in between, so a trade show and that kind of thing. And now as we're recording this, we have Debbie is at the airport picking up a consultant right now that's coming in for a FAM tour, our familiarization tour that we do every year in conjunction with the NASCAR race, so the Firekeepers 400. So we have some consultants that we're entertaining and showing the community a deep dive into Jackson and actually in Lenawee counties as well. And so it's just one thing after another. And then as soon as that leaves, I take one back to the airport Monday morning at 3:30 in the morning. And then we roll right into a meeting about our capital campaign at like 8 o'clock that morning. So
oh, boy.
Yeah, it's just one thing after another, right?
I feel the same way. So this year has been busy. We just got done with the annual dinner, and Machining You for 8th through 11th grade is coming up in partnership with the Jackson Area Career Center and the Shop Rat Foundation. So we're working on that. Annual dinner, not annual dinner, but our golf outing for August. And then, of course, the trade show in September that lots of our organizations are working on. Accelerate Jackson is a part of that. And so trying to recruit for that trade show. So a lot going on.
So I think from since we recorded our last episode and today, I think you were talking about your annual dinner, and we were right on the verge of your annual dinner. So you've since had your annual dinner. Any highlights you would like to share from your annual dinner, award winners or anything like that?
Yeah. So Our manufacturer of the year was Dawn Foods, so that's exciting. Our innovator was Angling AI.
Oh,
So,
a past guest. So yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. Josh is doing great things. So, and he was surprised. So that was something that we did
Nice.
different this year, was that surprise. And then we had two student of the year from the Career Center. One was from engineering, one was from precision machining.
Awesome.
Our Heritage Hall of Fame was Will Be Concrete.
Okay.
So our educator of the year was Steve Weller from Western.
Okay.
He also teaches for JAMA. He teaches hydraulics and robotics for us.
Nice.
So, yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, it's great when you can do events like that and bring recognition to people who maybe aren't always that person that you think of when a foundation gives an award or something like that. And so recognizing and bringing attention to some of these companies and innovators that we have in this community, or some of our educators, and particularly educators that are doing some of these kinds of things that are supporting manufacturing careers. And so I love that you guys do that, and having been to your event in the past, you guys do a fantastic job with it.
Yeah, so I missed one. So we also, in partnership with JTV, 2 years ago, created that associate member of the year, which was ALS, which is also a past guest.
Oh,
So,
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I have no fear or no doubt, I guess, that if you would have not mentioned the award to ALS that was in partnership with JTV, that our trusty producer, David, would have figured out how to edit that with it flashing brightly across the screen along the bottom or something like that. And so I feel like you owe him something as a result for that.
Okay,
So
all right. I'll have to figure out something for David.
there you go. There you go. Maybe when we get our store set up, that our first purchase is some sort of branded wear for David to start wearing around. So
There you go.
David gets the first T-shirt. Yeah.
All right.
So
Cool.
one of these times we have to sit David down and have an interview with him as well and talk about JTV.
For
so.
sure, but that should probably be your funny clip episode.
Oh,
Right?
the
Your
outtakes episode.
Yeah.
I have a feeling if David is keeping receipts on my funny outtakes back there, that there's probably more than enough enough out there to blackmail me with. So.
Yeah. And he yeah. And I'm sure that'd be his favorite episode. So.
Oh, absolutely. So
And for today,
Yes.
we have Kathy Stalegrave from Eaton joining us
yes.
to talk about aerospace. And she has a little bit of automotive, and I guess Eaton's in automotive as well as defense. So let's welcome Kathy.
Absolutely. Looking forward to it.
And I would like to welcome today's guest, Kathy Stalegrave from Eaton. Kathy, you want to tell us a little bit about yourself and your position at Eaton?
Yeah, sure, Olivia, thank you. My name is Kathy Stalegrave, and I joined Eaton 1 year ago. Prior to that, I had worked in the auto industry around Michigan, Ohio, for two different automakers. And by choice, I decided I wanted to come back to Jackson. I had lived in Jackson previously when I worked for an automaker, so I'm really happy to be back, and I'm happy to be a part of Eaton and a part of this great community.
That's awesome. I love to hear when people chose Jackson, right? We were talking a little bit before we started rolling. I also chose Jackson, right? And so I'm not a native Michigander. I'm certainly not a native Jacksonian. And so I love when people have had that experience, and when I hear that from people that I wanted to come back to the community from an economic development standpoint. I'm like, that's exactly what we're trying to get. That's what we're trying to have happen. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
So, and thank you for joining us today.
No problem.
Could you give us a little bit of an overview of Eaton's operations here in Jackson County, how you got started, kind of what you do, what you make, and that kind of thing?
Sure. So I'll start at the beginning, and I know others are more of an expert on the total AeroQuip history, but Peter Hurst is the founder of the company called AeroQuip, that came to the United States during World War II and set up operations here in Jackson in the 1940s, during the war, actually. And then that family-owned business expanded throughout the country and grew. And I know the Hearst Foundation is still a big part of the community here. So with those roots, Eaton in the 1990s wanted to actually get into the hydraulics business, and Aeroquip had hydraulics as part of what they were doing, aerospace and hydraulics. So they acquired Aeroquip Vickers at the time, and then realized, oh my gosh, this aerospace business is fantastic. And from there, Eaton Aerospace has just continued to grow.
That's awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
We have 2 sites in town. We have the East Ave, where I work, and I'm the plant manager at that site. And then we have an Argyle test lab as well.
Okay, awesome.
What makes the Jackson facility unique within Eaton's, global, really, manufacturing network?
That East Avenue site is the birthplace of a lot of the products that Eaton Aerospace makes. And the engineering, the development has taken place at that site. So really the expertise handed down generationally is here within Jackson, and a strength for Eaton overall.
So you talk about, when you talk about aerospace is a broad category, right? There's a lot of different things that go into aerospace. Can you talk about some of the specific products that you make here in Jackson for Eaton Aerospace?
Sure. So in aerospace, we have commercial and we have defense. And here in Jackson, we make both. And our products that we make are for conveyance. So they're tubes, they're hoses, they're couplings that join tubes and hoses together so that fluid can travel through the different conveyance mechanisms within an aircraft. We also have smaller components that are joining type components that we sell to customers as well.
Awesome.
Eaton supports a wide range of sectors, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which markets are primarily served here in Jackson? But I'd like to know globally too, how that works for you guys.
Yeah, Eaton is a large company. Aerospace is not even the biggest part of Eaton overall.
Right.
So Eaton has power distribution, which is a large growing sector of Eaton. We also have an industrial sector in mobility that supplies the auto industry. We have, not everyone knows this, but a part of our company is Golf Pride, which makes the golf grips for some of the best golfers in the world. So we're very diverse as a company. We have a lot of markets that we're in, and then we are global, as you mentioned, Olivia. The aerospace market is global as well, and that benefits us in 2 ways, both for our customers that are global, we have global customers, and then our supply chain, which is global as well.
I think that's one of the things that's always interesting when the single best part of my job in economic development, I should qualify that. The single best part of my job is being successful and seeing the community grow as a result. But for me personally, the best part of the job is getting to go into manufacturing facilities, seeing how things are done. It's, and I think I've said this on this podcast before, that it's like watching that How It's Made show that I used to watch with my now 11-year-old son on Saturday mornings. And I love doing that part. And so it's funny because prior to coming to Jackson, I knew Eaton from the automotive side.
Okay.
Right. And so coming here and then finding that it's in the aerospace industry, that was something I wasn't aware of. So that was pretty interesting for me. So switching gears on that manufacturing and talking about, kind of advanced manufacturing, can you talk about some of the manufacturing technologies, the smart manufacturing, Industry 4.0 types of things, and how that's been integrated at your facilities?
Yeah. So we do have Industry 4.0 cells. In the different areas where people work, we call that a cell. So you might
Sure.
work at this workstation and you're building this hose here. And historically, you would cut that by hand. You'd measure it by hand. You'd cut it by hand and then crimp the ends by hand. And we do have Industry 4.0 cells where the person is still a part of it. The person doesn't go away, but the person takes the piece of hose to the saw to cut it, and the equipment measures for you, completes the cut for you, goes over to the machine, the crimper that we call it, to crimp the end of the hose, and it does it at the right force and pressure that's required automatically based on what the order is calling for. So we have cells like that. We also have a lot of vision where we can check parts within our gauge lab. So what used to be CMM now can use vision. It's quicker. You don't have to do the tool changeovers as much.
What kind of quality improvements did you see moving to more of that automated process?
That's a great question. So the scrap rate went from about 6% to 0.1%. So sorry, I couldn't do that math in my head for you, Olivia, but a great improvement.
Awesome.
Yeah. It takes away the human error. And just to reemphasize, it doesn't take away the human. We still need the human, but the ability for that human to be successful is improved with the I 4.0 tools that we have in place.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, I mean, it's just the reality of the world that we're in, right? I mean, and particularly, I mean, you've got an automotive background. I mean, automotive doesn't take they don't take too many bad parts from a supplier, right? Before they cease to be a supplier, right? And I'm assuming that other industries are similar. I mean, obviously, automotive is the one that always comes to mind for us being here, but and so that makes sense, and that's a question that we typically ask all of our people that we have on our podcast. So another question that we always ask is about workforce, right? And so one of the questions that I have is, so what does Eaton do, and how does Eaton attract and maintain or retain a skilled workforce?
So this is a question that, as I prepared for it, and I look at my past and the different plants that I've worked in around Metro Detroit and Toledo, we don't have a hard time getting people to come work for us. I know that our site is a great place to work. You know, we have a fair wage. It's a clean environment. It's steady work. We have orders that go out for many years. People apply, they come in, and very rarely do they leave. And even our absenteeism is not the same as it was in other experiences that I've had. So we're able to attract people by our consistency within the community. From what I see, that word of mouth that, hey, Eaton is a great place to work, you should apply, the referrals that we get, we're getting a workforce that is coming in, ready to work, interested in what we're doing, and then they stay, which is a strength that we have here. And honestly, I feel that here in this community. I believe with the Career Center and the way high schoolers are brought in and they can see what's going on in the community, and it's not just with Eaton, I know it's the other manufacturers here, and that the support that they feel, that then when they move on to JAMA, or even if they do like a 2-and-2 type program, I see that growth. I see people interested in manufacturing here. So it's exciting to be a part of this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Are there any partnerships that you develop to help with that workforce development for recruiting future employees? You know, because we all have retirees, right?
Yeah, and
So how do you
that
prepare
is
for that?
that's one of our risks that we see moving forward. That a large portion of our workforce is already eligible to retire, and then within the next 10 years, even more. So. We partner with JAMA with our apprenticeship program. I'd like to see us do more with the Career Center with the high schoolers. Once people are over 18, we'd like to welcome them in as well. Eaton, for our salary teams, we have a leadership development program where early career people can rotate through the company for 3 years, having 9-month assignments. So that's a very beneficial way to join a company. We also have a lot of Kettering co-ops.
Okay.
Kettering University, they operate on that co-op program. So we have a steady stream of co-ops that come in and join us for each semester.
That's awesome. I love hearing about those partnerships, and I love that you recognize the opportunity that exists for you with the ISD and with the Career Center, because I never cease to be amazed when I go over there and see the projects that some of those kids are working on that I can't imagine having worked on those when the robotics program, First Robotics, and some of those kinds of things. And thinking back to me as a 16-year-old or a 17-year-old, I'm like, oh my, like I would be so lost at that point. I'm a liberal arts guy though, right? So I mean, it is what it is. So switching maybe away a little bit from the workforce development, another issue that we hear a lot talking with our manufacturers is sustainability and sustainability practices. Can you maybe talk about Eaton's commitment to sustainability and what that looks like here in Jackson?
Yeah. So we get support corporate from corporate for sustainability. There's an organization that we can lean into. We actually just installed 2 EV chargers on site.
Nice.
They were operational here in late May, so that's new for us. We have been a zero waste to landfill site for some time. That was before I came, and we continue on that path. We have things in place for energy reduction, like the automatic lights will turn off if no one's in the space. And we actually just reached out to Michigan State to be a part of one of their classes that they have for their environmental engineers. For next year, we'll have a group that will come in and do a environmental sustainability look at our plant as part of their class, and give us some more ideas and some more feedback that way.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is awesome. I know Eaton is always giving back to Jackson. Can you talk about some of the things that you do to give back to this community?
Yes, we're involved in a lot of different things, and the things that stick out for me. We do Relay for Life. That's a big thing for us every year. We participate with the Interfaith Shelter. We do collections for them. We did one at Christmas time. We also did a collection for school supplies at the start of the school year. We give to United Way. Eaton overall gives to United Way. We had a big investment with, it was with JAMA, but it was one particular building, right, that we just had that big grant for, and I'm
The
sorry.
Advanced Manufacturing Training Center with
Thank
JAMA
you.
and the ShopRat Foundation.
Thank you,
Yes.
Olivia.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
That's
But
okay.
that was a big one for us, and that's important to us. That's our future, and we want to see people grow and use that. Some other things that we collected some toys at Christmas time also, and there's always something going on with the community.
Yeah. So what trends do you see? Maybe this is specific to Eaton, but maybe bigger picture in manufacturing. I mean, you have a long career in manufacturing in Michigan and in the Midwest, it sounds like. And so what trends in manufacturing are you seeing that maybe we haven't talked about that should be on our radar, and what does that look like for Eaton?
Well, certainly the mechatronics type role is important moving forward. So as things move on and more automation comes into play, the skill set will change. It'll not just be, hey, I push this button and run this machine, or hey, I just cut this hose. It will be, I need to troubleshoot what's happening. So I know we're supporting that already, which is important as a manufacturing trend. Yes. I also see a turnover of the workforce, and as the new workforce comes in, how are we addressing what's important to that generation of people? Because we still are heavy within a generation that's my age or a touch older, and that's going to change. And as that changes, are we adapting like we should? So that's important.
And I think that's a struggle overall in manufacturing is how do we adapt to that, right? Have you found anything or thought about anything that you think might work to adapting to the younger generations?
Well, people come in already knowing things that I had to take a class on, and knowing it well. So I think there's opportunity for us on how we onboard, and then how we use technology. Still, it's a chicken and an egg for me, Olivia, because we need that workforce that has those new ideas that can do those things, but our infrastructure maybe hasn't caught up. And I'm speaking overall for the industry, not so much one site over another. And as we do that, it feels like the new hires are better than what we have here. So we gotta catch up.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, and I think that is a challenge facing everybody, right? And that's not manufacturing specific, right? I mean, even as I continue to get older every year, I mean, it's funny how that works, isn't it? Like, and when I'm hiring in people from, potentially 2 generations now below me, as I'm a late Xer, I will say. And so it is something always that we have to keep in mind, that this person has grown up a lot differently than I have. They have a lot different values. And so when they come in and work in our workforce, and I know you and I've had this conversation before, Olivia, that it is something you have to change how you're doing to meet them where they're at, and if you want to be successful, right? So I love that conversation.
I do too. And I was at a meeting at Grand River down here a couple of years ago, and the individual talking was from MSU, and he says, our students don't care about wages. They want to be able to do things and enjoy life. And I was like, oh, okay, well, that's interesting. They don't care about wages. Yep. Enjoy life. I can appreciate that, but you got to work to enjoy, right?
And in manufacturing, you have a schedule, you have customers, you have orders you're trying to fulfill, and that needs to be done in a timely manner. So creating a system where people can still feel like they can enjoy life, but yet we're efficient, that I see as a challenge for us. Yeah. That is just going to continue to grow. I don't have a silver bullet for that one just yet, but we're working on it.
And I was hoping you were going to offer up that silver bullet, and then our subscribers would shoot through the roof when everybody was tuning in to see what Kathy's silver bullet was.
Well, there are flexible work solutions that can work, but they have to also support the business. So it's trying to balance that, and as a leader, we have to make that right decision between delighting the customer and keeping our employees satisfied, being fair with all of the different types of people that work in our plant, because just some people can work from home when they need to. Some people can check out early. Some people can't, because they're it could be an hourly employee or supervising hourly employees. So it really depends on the role and the position. And I think the best way to approach that is with honesty and understanding, and meeting people where they are the best that you can.
I think that's the key phrase, right? Meet people where they're at.
Yeah.
I guess my last question I would have then is, we've talked a little bit about workforce, and we've talked about a couple of questions around that younger workforce and how we engage them. If you could send one message to a young person considering a career in manufacturing or career at Eaton, what would that be?
If you like people and you like technology, you should really look at manufacturing, because it's just that. It's a challenging environment, challenging technically, not so challenging emotionally. I think people have a misconception that, manufacturing, they think of someone, I don't know, a stereotypical person in my mind is like a big, dirty type place that smells, and it's not necessarily like that at all. In fact, the connections that you make with people in manufacturing, they can really last a lifetime. You can form relationships that are very meaningful, and at the same time, if you're good at technology or you like technology, that's a part of your day-to-day. You're teaching, you're learning and you're teaching on a regular basis as technology increases or improves, and as people flow in and out of your manufacturing site. And that's very rewarding. If when you start, you might not know anything. You're brand new. You don't know. People don't expect you to know. But then you learn, and then you fix problems, and then someone newer comes in, and you can teach that person. And the cycle just repeats, and that's what I have found rewarding. And I wish that more people would recognize that there's so much opportunity if you like people to go into manufacturing.
Absolutely.
I have another question that
Oh.
comes from at the beginning, before we were on live, about Rosie Day.
Oh, yeah.
So can we do a little plug about women in manufacturing?
Sure.
And how
I
to
am
get
so
more-
glad that you're asking that question, because as we were sitting here talking, and we had obviously went through some of the questions we wanted to ask beforehand, I was like, we are missing the opportunity to ask about women in leadership and manufacturing.
Yeah.
So
Sure.
God bless you for, yes,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah. What would you like to ask?
Yeah, just how to. What is it like to be a woman in manufacturing? How do we get more women to be interested in these roles? Yeah, just your experience.
So I just always liked how things worked. Okay, I'll tell the story. When I was a kid, I took apart my mom's sewing machine, and I did not put it back together. And she's gonna probably watch this and be like, "I told you not to do it." But I wanted to know how it worked because I was fascinated. How does that thread get up and around? But that started it for me. And then I knew I liked math and science. I visited the old Jeep plant in Toledo, Ohio, when I was in college, and that sold me because the people that I walked around with that day were just fantastic leaders. One of them was a woman. Her name's Gloria Shepard, is her name now. And as she took our group of students around, everybody waved at her. She knew everybody's name. And I was like, I love it here. I want to come work here. So I did. I worked at that Jeep plant for 15 years, and I got to experience seasons of life with people, and at the same time set up amazing like automation and quality control processes through control systems at a new plant that they built there. And I was hooked. I love that adrenaline of that day-to-day where, hey, I have this tough problem. I'm going to go solve it with these amazing people that woke up at 6 a.m. to come be here today. That is what drove me. And then I've just been very fortunate in the people that I've met and that I've worked with when leadership positions became available, that they asked me to try. And the more I tried, the more I liked it, and the different things that I was able to do. Being a woman in manufacturing, being any person in manufacturing can be tough. Going through the different seasons of, you have kids, and how do you juggle that? And I'm very fortunate that my husband is a skilled tradesman. He's an electrician, so he was able to kind of flex his schedule around what I needed to do to be a leader in manufacturing. And you asked, so I'll just share. I think that going in, maybe some women count themselves out early. Like, hey, I want to go be a mother, and I want to have a family, so I don't know that I want to have a life like that. Well, I wanted to be a mother. I wanted to have a family also. And I didn't know that my husband would take that role. When we got married, we didn't know that's how it would go, but that's just how it went. And the universe is kind of aligned in that way for myself and many others. Women leaders that I know in manufacturing that are able to do just that. So I think it's just good to know that it's an option for you, and that while it might seem daunting, there are programs in place to help. And large companies like Eaton have programs in place to help. So
That's awesome.
maybe it was a long-winded
No.
answer, but
It's great.
No, it was a perfect answer, though.
Yeah.
So with that, I don't have any other questions. So Kathy, thank you very much for joining us on Manufacturing Matters Jackson. And I think that will be our wrap up for episode 5. So thank you very much.
thank you, Keith. Thank you, Olivia.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us.